Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. I'm always excited when we go live with you guys, man. I love this platform. Guys, today was topic, we're talking about a weird world. The world is so weird, guys. Is it me? I'm asking my people on my live right now. Is it just me? Or you guys see that the world is getting so weird? And the only way to behave in this world is either become it or B, don't even be involved in it. The world is just so weird today, man. I go places where I'm expected to know how to talk to certain people, right? And the conversations go left because we just in a weird world. I saw a video the other day, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not anti-gay, I'm not anti-straight. I don't really care. I love people for who they are, right? And I respect people's sexual preference. There's a video that went viral the other day of a man coming out of a bathroom, and the woman was arguing with him about him coming out the bathroom because he identifies as a woman. It's like certain things are just too much. I'm gonna be fair. Some people are gonna take offense to it, but guess what? I don't give a damn. And the reason why I don't give a damn is because, again, I say this with conviction. I don't knock nobody for their sexual preference. But when we're affecting children, or we give misinforming or teaching children wrong, we're starting to go to the extreme. I can understand a parent or an adult that understands logic, but when you're talking to children or you're forcing children to understand things, we're getting weird. I have children, and I don't even want my kids to see certain things. I just don't want them to see it. Kids don't need to see certain aspects. But the world is so weird today. When you look at people in the world, it's the broke people teaching people with money how to have money, the weird people telling the regular people how to be weirder. It's just so much going on, man. It's so much going on. And I'm so lost in it because I'm a traditional guy. I am a man of principles, integrities, morals, and something extremely called logic. I believe in logic. To me, 1 + 1 will always equal 2. No matter how you slice it, right? 1 + 1 will equal 2. I'm gonna say something to me is a little weird. One day somebody told me, wait outside, they're about to come, right? I'm at my club and I'm waiting outside for a multitude of people. A single individual showed up and he said, I'm the person they were waiting for. I said, no, it's supposed to be a couple of you. He said, no, I'm they. I just stared at him like, this is getting a little bit too much now. We're changing everything to the point where it's getting weird. Let's talk about logic, right? When you sit down and talk to people who spend money recklessly, but then they're extremely mad that they're broke. You don't think that's weird? I'm asking this question logically. Do you think that's weird? When you have people spending money recklessly and then they're mad that they're broke. I had a friend of mine the other day actually called me and said, my girl leaving me. I said, why? He said, because she caught me cheating. I said, okay, I understand why she leaving you. He said, nah, that's not a reason for her to leave me. I said, you sound crazy as hell. You sound crazy. You're mad at your girl for wanting to leave you because of the fact that she don't want to stay with somebody that's going to cheat on her. Let's go down a list of things that we consider weird, man, right? We're not even active, right? We don't do anything logically anymore. Everything is just feeling based. Whatever makes my feelings fly, that's what matters. You could sit down and say the most logical thing, but if someone don't believe what you're saying, they'll get offended. Someone call in right now to give me a scenario that you've seen that the world is getting weird. 516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. I'm scared of this world. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm even more scared of the generation my children are going to be in when they become my age. And what's going to be the next phenomenon. I'm nervous because you're not even allowed to say something that's biologically fact, right? Scientifically fact. You're not allowed to say these things. We got to cancel, cancel culture? You'll get canceled. You're not allowed to tell me that. This is the sick world. The world is becoming more and more sick. What are we doing? Why are we so weird? I go on records and tell women all the time, ladies, you're not my freaking enemy. When did men and women become enemies? That's the weird world we're living in today. The men and women are enemies. Families are not working together, but they're broke. And then they're crying about being broke, but when they could be working together so they can't be broke, but yet and still they'll fight each other because of the fact that it's like, I guess the broke want to be not broker than the broke. This culture is getting sick, man. We're getting sick. I'm sitting back watching coaches work together. Let me get this caller real fast. I want this caller. Someone's calling in right now, guys. Caller.
Hello?
What's going on?
Trying to reach out to somebody online.
Yeah, this is Q. What's going on?
What's good with you? I'm also in 631 area code.
That's what's up,
So
man.
we're not that far off.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Long Island, stand up. So what's going on, bro? How do you feel about the world? Why is the world so weird? And
I think right about now, it's almost like a bizarro world where top is bottom and bottom is top, good is bad, light is darkness.
you keep going. You can keep going. You're right.
Unfortunately, this is the world that we wished for. So it's different because we're getting what we asked for. But we didn't know the price.
So I'm asking you,
Real talk.
what is one of the weirdest things, being respectful to anybody, but what is one of the weirdest things you see about this world today?
The acceptance of second and third place in regard to a participation award.
Ooh, you
Once
can say
we
that
started
again.
rewarding kids that are second and third place because we don't want to hurt, Shorty's feelings.
He's right.
We taking attention away from the people that actually work real hard in order for them to strive to get that first place championship.
Now, you speaking facts, man. I see that a lot nowadays. More people are literally giving participation awards. I seen a kid come home the other day he came in my shop with a 5th place ribbon. A 5th place ribbon, bro. And I'm like, bro.
I'm going to take it full circle, and you're going to be like, no way, he just went there.
I'm listening.
I love everybody. I'm not disrespectful.
Okay.
As long as you respect the boundaries, which is my personal space.
Okay.
Do you know what the truth is about Miss Harris becoming political?
I don't even know what that means.
Do you know how she got to the top?
Oh, Kamala? No, I don't know.
Yeah, Miss Harris. That is correct. Miss Harris. And I try not to use her first name because it has negative energy in it.
Okay, I'm listening.
In the same way that they're trying to do their resources and their network researching to say Donald Trump has his, description and terminology for his name. Kamala has terminology and definition for her name. So that's why I respect her and just call her Miss Harris.
Okay. Me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not into politics. I don't really.
I try not to be neither.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they affect everything that goes on in this country in regard to everyday prices, economy, taxes, laws that they feel are going to better their people. And I don't mean everybody.
No, I agree with you. 100%, guys. Let me get up for my guy, guys. This guy's talking some facts, man. Let me give him some guys. Let me get some things. Now, he had a lot of valid points, guys. Me personally, I'm not into politics. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really deviate into politics. I don't like it. I do like it, but I don't like it. You know, it is what it is, you know. Political views, I don't force my religion. I don't force my political views on my podcast. I don't do that. You know, I keep that more private, right? I will throw in certain scriptures that I do believe in when it comes to it, but I don't force my agenda as far as my beliefs. But guys, I'm asking this question. Someone call in right now. Y'all don't see that the world is weird? Yeah. Y'all don't see that the world is weird? We live in a very weird world, right? This is the problem. When you're talking logic, a lot of people don't want to hear it. I'm going to tell you what bothers me. I'm going to be honest with you. And a lot of people get offended when I say this. I've noticed that roles have changed. I think more men are literally looking for women to take care of them when they're supposed to be the leaders. I think that changed the parameters of life extremely. When you sit down and listen to a man, I had a guy argue with me the other day by saying that a woman should take care of him. And I just stared at him because it's like, here's my question, guys. I always ask this logic. How can a man lead a woman when he hasn't led himself anywhere? Some of these guys get offended when women don't allow them to lead. I've never had that problem with a woman allowing me to lead because one thing I've always said to myself, never, and I say this to my men with conviction, please listen to this, good guys in the studio, never, ever, ever let yourself fall behind when it comes to your economics. You got to put that first. I'm sorry to say that anyone don't understand that. They don't understand life. Because in most cases, the men that haven't, they get disrespected. They get disrespected. If you want to literally have your life together, you definitely have to have your life together. So guess what? There's a guy, he comes in my store. He's pushing his own agenda. We were having a conversation, and he literally changed the topic, right? He changed the whole topic. He wanted to talk about what he wanted to talk about. And here's the narrative. And I'm asking this question to my people online. Watch this question, guys. Guys in the studio, would you say that women are more feeling-based creatures? Yes or no? Man is supposed to be more logical, right? So if a man is a feeling-based creature, what is he? I'm asking everybody on live right now, please answer that question. If a woman, right, in her natural audience is a very feeling-based creature, women are very feeling-based, right? If a man is feeling-based also, what is this man? I'm asking this question today, please. Someone answer that question. Someone said feminine. I ain't say it. I agree with you, but I ain't say it. Look, someone said feminine side. Listen, I didn't say it, but I agree with it. I'm asking my men and women on this live right now, have you ever approached a man and told him something and literally went into an argument because it went against their agreements, even if it's logic and it made every bit of sense, but the person made reservation for their beliefs to the point where they didn't even want to hear you? So I'm asking, what is that? Is that a man? Is that a female or feminine? What is that? What is that? I find that's the world we live in today, where a man can't tell a man that he's wrong because if you tell him you're wrong, automatically he'll go into his feelings. And when he goes into his feelings, he'll react as a female would, right? So let me ask this question. Watch this scenario. Why I'm comfortable with a woman getting mad and getting her feelings is because in most cases, when a woman gets mad, right, this is normal. Women get mad all the time, right? At the end of the day, they get mad. But here's the problem. When a man gets mad, this man can literally shift the world. He can hurt somebody. A very uncontrollable man that's in his feelings is a very dangerous man. And this is the world we live in, very dangerous people who can't control their emotions. This is the new ordinance of the world. We live in a very weird world where if you think something, you can't say something because somebody's going to get offended by what you say. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm not for everybody's ears. And I'm comfortable with that. I'm not coming on here trying to cater to what I don't believe is right. I believe a man is for a woman and a woman is for a man. I genuinely believe that. But I'm not going to push my agenda. But I'm not going to also go against what I believe. Because I'm trying to compliment nobody. I haven't been purchased or sold. I'm still speaking what I genuinely believe. But the world we live in is just so different. What do y'all see? Look at the parenting. I never in a million years would have thought that parents would try to be their children's friends. Listen to that statement. A parent trying to be their child's friend. I think that's when the world is getting weirder. Because my mother never allowed me to be her friend. Because it's weird when you have to be your kid's friend and your kid don't have anything. So guess what? You just got a broke best friend. Right? This is the weird world. Someone want to call in right now to talk about the weird world that we live in. Give me some scenarios of something that you see in the world that's weird. 516-253-1150. When you call in, please be respectful. Please be respectful. 516-253-1150. Talk about the weirdness that we see in the world. But this same particular guy kept arguing his opinion to the point where it wasn't even a conversation no more. It became, I'm gonna tell you something, when feelings enter the room, it becomes like a dictatorship. If you don't wanna hear me, we cannot talk anymore. That is a sick human being that has to always force their agenda because of the fact that you're not allowed. That is an extreme level of a narcissist. I'll give you a narcissist. A narcissist is one who literally leaves, comes home angry, and want the whole household to be angry. If a woman does that, that means she's a narcissist. That's narcissistic traits. When you're mad at your job and you come home and take it out on your family, you're a narcissist. Whether that's a man or a woman. They have nothing to do with your problem. They were not the problem that Tony yelled at you today at work. They have nothing to do with them. But this is the new generation of the world. Most people don't want to hear no truth. A lie has been forced to be the truth because the liars, right, only want to hear lies. When the truth enters the room, they exit. Most people get uncomfortable with the truth, so therefore they exit when people are talking about anything that's against what they believe. And that's why most people can't learn. I told you the worst thing a human can do is give themselves a disability. When someone is born deaf, they have a disability. When someone is born blind, they have a disability. If someone born where they can't learn at the same speed as others, right? Would you say they have something called a learning disability, right? But the saddest part is when you have someone who has a functioning brain, has eyes that work and ears that work, but yet and still they do not want to hear, see, or listen to anything that someone else wants to say. This is a person who has physically given themselves a disability officially. This is the new generation. Too many people are caught up in social media. You got women that are 5s thinking they're 12s. You got men that are 3s thinking they're 10s. You got men who don't have their life together telling you what kind of woman they want. You got women who don't have their life together telling you what kind of man they deserve. This is a sick world, man. Dynamic of people who aren't doing something but trying to tell someone who actually doing it how to do it. That's the new world. Think about that. You are a barber sitting with a doctor telling a doctor how to be a doctor. Your mother and father first cousins. You crazy as hell. Something is wrong. Listen, there's no way you haven't done something and you're sitting there trying to tell somebody how to do it. Something has to really be wrong with you for you to literally sit there and try to tell someone that does something for a living and you don't do it, but you're telling them based on what? Your feelings? Oh my God. Damn. That's how heavy the world is right now, right? We literally avoiding every conversation, right? We have the elephant in the room, but we're going to ignore that the elephant is in the room. Ladies, you need men, and men, you need ladies. That's the elephant in the room. We need each other. Because the last time I checked, man, financially, man, people aren't doing as good as they like to say they are, right? We're not trying to compromise with anything. We overly absorb a mentality, right? And then what we do is we teach our children the same sick mentality, ultimately creating the next generation to be worse than the last. Always when you teach something, just know it'll be worse. For instance, if I teach my daughter how to be hood, my daughter's gonna be hooded than me. The next generation always gets worse. In the same way, the next generation can get better. Think about it. In most cases, if you're super educated, you can push your kids to be way more educated, right? It can go both ways. A lot of us don't like to have these conversations. Why are we so insecure? Why? I'm not insecure about something called facts, right? When you look at life, everything has its purpose, its reasoning, right? Think about it. What is a crab for? Eats the bottom of the ocean. It feeds off the bottom of the ocean, right? Everything has a purpose. We can go into reasoning, like, give me something, things that purpose is for, right? So I can show you, like, since the beginning of time, things were created for a reason. But we don't want to accept the reason that it's created, right? We want it to be what we want it to be. My mom told me years ago, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still going to be a pig. You could put lipstick on a pig, but it's still going to be a pig. A lot of us need to clean out our closets before we start telling somebody else how dirty their closet is. Let me say that again. A lot of us. And notice I'm going in the closet. Let me take that back. Whoa, 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 pause. No diddy. Whoa, that was crazy. Listen, a lot of us need to clean up our closet before we tell somebody else their closet is dirty. A lot of us need to clean up the messes in our lives before we tell somebody else they have a mess in their life. A lot of us need to become better parents before we start giving parent advice. A lot of us need to start saving money before we start becoming financial advisors. A lot of us need to learn how to be mature and act our age opposed to our shoe size before we start telling somebody their shoes don't fit. Because if you had to put the same shoes on your feet that they have on their feet, you probably couldn't walk in them. Y'all don't hear me? Y'all don't hear me? But we want to put our shoes, somebody else's shoes on our feet, and then complain about them not fitting because of the fact that you're judging someone else's situation prematurely because your chances are you don't know everything that's going on in their life. Everything that glitters ain't gold. And everything that shines, damn sure ain't no diamond. But some of us have learned how to manipulate ourselves into believing that things are better than they actually are in our lives. But the reason why things are not good in our lives is because of the fact that we overly observing other people's lives by not working on our lives. The world is weird. Social media has given you a window to stand through of other people's lives that are good at master manipulating that their life is a lot better than what they are. Statistics do not show that people are as wealthy as we would like to believe. Why do so many people look rich on social media? Because it is a highlight reel of your greatest moments. It is a highlight reel of your greatest moments. A lot of us have mastered the art of the illusion. Some of y'all are better than David Blaine. Some of y'all need your own magical show. Because the one thing I've noticed y'all good at is pretending like you're rich. Because a lot of y'all know how to make money really fast disappear. Damn. And it's the truth. But when we have these conversations, someone gets offensive or offended or feel insulted. He has no right to say that about me. Ladies, I have every bit of right to talk about you. Men, I have every bit of right to talk about you. This is my platform, and if you don't like it, it is what it is. Because guess what? I don't give a damn. Because the truth has to be said. Enough, come on, guys. Man, we got to step up and raise our children. We got to step up and raise our children. I'm going to say this. There is no way that woman went in that room, laid down, and just walked out 9 months later with a baby. Somebody got to answer that. Am I crazy? Am I saying something wrong? Somebody walked in that room, right? And 9 months later, they walked in that room alone. A woman walked in that room alone, and 9 months later, she gave birth. Something's not mathing, guys. Somebody's hiding what they ain't doing. A lot of us are evasive of our responsibilities. You gotta literally go back in that room with that woman. That day you decided to walk in that room with that woman, I don't give a damn if you like her, respect her, don't want nothing to do with her. At the end of the day, if you gave her a baby, you are every bit of responsible, my brother. We ain't gonna change the world if we keep avoiding our responsibilities. You got men who are running from their kids, right? And then guess what? You'll sit with your kid 30 years later and be like, your mother, you a grown man. Nobody wanna hear that crap. You a whole grown man. Nobody wanna hear your mother wasn't respectful to me. You expect me to believe that my dad was alpha? If my dad came and sat with me and blamed my mother, he is a soft coward. He's a coward. Your mother wasn't respectful to me, so I decided to, come on, fam. Come on, fam. You're supposed to be the man. Tighten up. Tighten up. We're supposed to allow that to be normal, right? And ladies, let's tighten up even further. Let's say this too. Stop taking the man out of these damn kids' life. The statistics is not helping y'all. It's working against you guys. Let your son or daughter determine that their daddy's a bum. Let them determine it. Because I'm going to tell you something. That child will respect you more once that child determines that his daddy or mommy is a bum. He'll respect you more. You ever had a kid, and I want you to hear this. I know somebody knows someone like this, right? Watch this. You ever had a kid who had a good parent, but they didn't appreciate the parent because you've already gave them the conclusion of what their parent is, so therefore they don't understand who their other parent is? I would never tell my child about their other side of them. I would let them determine that. The only way I would definitely say something if I know that this person will do something extremely harmful to my child. That is the only way. If this person has no major issues to that magnitude, I am not saying anything. I'm gonna let them determine who their parent is. That's funny because I'll give you a story. There was a lady who took her daughter out of her father's life. 21 years later, when she got back in her father's life, she gave her mother hell when she turned 16. 15, 16, she started giving her mother hell. And the reason why she gave her mother hell, because she realized that if my dad was such a bad man, why did he raise my other siblings but not me? You know what she said to herself? She realized that mommy was the issue. When mommy and daddy separated, mommy could not separate, right? They separated, but mommy kept animosity, anger, and rage towards daddy, ultimately creating a daughter because she tried to make her daughter come on her side of the battle. But it actually backfired. And now you create a sick child because a child should not be playing adult games. A child should not be playing adult games. And this is what we do with our children. We put them in the crossfires of our problems, and then we wonder why our children are so grown. We wonder why our children are not respectful to the opposite sex. We wonder why our children are just reckless, because when you keep a child in a child's place, a child will be a child. But when you allow a child to come out of a child's place, you'll wonder why your child is too grown. Your child is grown because of you. You're telling her too much. You're talking about mommy and daddy issues to a little kid. That's kind of sick. But this is the world we live in. As long as you find someone who thinks like you, it is normal. Damn. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. 516-253-1150. Someone call in right now. I want to talk, right? This is what we do. Why are people being so weird? It is so weird. I can't get jiggy with this new ordinance of world. I'm very avoiding, so I keep my circle very tight because I want people that understand logic, right? You got people who are corny waking up 40 years old, now they gangster. You got 50-year-old rappers. You want to keep going? Oh my God. Give me some things, guys. It's sick out here. You got grandmas with BBLs. You got people who take trips knowing that they don't have money, then come back and cry about being broke. Damn. Say it again. We got people who work jobs they don't like, spend the money, right? And then cry about going back to their job. What's wrong with the 50-year-old rappers? I'm not talking about the ones that already made it. I'm talking about the ones that still try to make it at 50 years old. That's scary. I don't care. That is scary that a person could be 50 years old and still trying to rap. Come on. The world is weird. But you know what changed in this world? When they removed God out of everyone's life, you started seeing the world change. I remember when I was in school, we sung the Pledge of Allegiance, right? We knew God. There was prayer. People don't even pray no more, to the point that you're starting to see more atheist people than anything. There's no way there's such thing as creation without a creator. There cannot be creation without a creator. When you look at this shirt, right? Somebody had to create it. When you look at this table, somebody had to create it. When you look at this tree, someone had to create it. There is no life without creation. Someone had to create it. There has to be a creator. Whether you want to call him Buddha, Allah, or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, at the end of the day, there has to be a someone that created this world. When you don't think like that, man, I would hate to know who you're answering to. Because if you believe the world created the world, then you are of the world. The world created the world, and this is what you are of. Sometimes you got to understand it's bigger than the world. What you may see is temporary. This is not the long term. But a lot of us is caught up in this world, the flesh. We don't see as a bigger picture. The other day, I told this little girl the other day, she said to me, Q, why do you like to pour into people's cups? I said, because when God pours into your cup, he pours in your cup so you can pour into others. When you don't pour into others, he stopped pouring into your cup. Why is that? Because of the fact that you're selfish. Why would someone keep giving to a selfish person? And a lot of us is very selfish. We're selfish. Look at the world. People don't know enough is enough. You have more than you could even handle. You still want more. I know people that make children that they can't even afford when they already had kids. Like how crazy the world is. You having kids you can't afford and crying about being broke. You was broke before you had the last two of them. Why are you making more? Why? Come on, you can't feel sorry for everybody, man. Some people are just crazy as hell. Damn. Somebody said leaving your family and start going to be a rapper at 47? That's crazy, guys. But it's sad because you don't see that we're creating more broken families. Why are we creating so much broken families? Because so many people come from broken families. And it's more common. The world will continue to be the world. To my men, and I'm giving you flowers right now, and my women who still highly believe in marriage, I want to give you a round of applause. To my men and women who are confident and believe that marriage is a good thing, I really respect you. Because we are getting every bit of every day into this baby mama, baby daddy culture. You have people right now, listen to this statement, guys. You have people who will give someone a kid before they're willing to give somebody a ring. You're locked in with this this person financially regardless, but you would rather have a kid with someone rather than marry someone. This is the world, man. This is the new world order. You look at this, T. You complain about having a kid with somebody, but you would literally not marry that person, but you're willing to give him a kid? Guys, this is America. America gonna hold you financially responsible. I know guys who can't even get passports or driver's license because of the fact that they on child support and they owe rears in money. But you're willing to go intimately, next one. You're willing to intimately go be with someone without protection, a bum at that, and cry about your life afterwards? I'm gonna tell you something. There's consequences in life based on your decisions, guys. You can't entertain certain women and expect to not get certain results. The results come from the decisions we make, right? We gotta be mindful. Someone calling right now, 516-253-1150. Someone calling right now. We're not lying for people no more. I don't really care who gets offended, but in order to fix the problems, we gotta talk about it, right? I'm not scared of telling my truth anymore. Because this is the issue. When you keep lying to a liar, the liar believes that they're the truth. How do you fix what you can't identify as wrong? How do you fix what we can't identify as wrong? There are too many people right now, right, who are not in position to be entertained in a relationship, but yet and still do. There's a guy that said the other day to me, you know what he said to me? I want y'all to hear this. This is crazy. He said, I said, yo, bro, why you keep entertaining women? This is what he said to me. Listen, this was crazy as hell. I said, bro, your life is not together. Why do you keep entertaining women? This is how you know mommy issues, daddy issues, abandonment issues are real. You know what he said to me? He said, bro, I know my life ain't together and I'm struggling to pay child support. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I need companionship. I just stared at him and said, damn, this is the new audience of the world. This is how people are. You have women who have absolutely nothing, but believe that the men are not good because they can't take care of them. Damn. You have men who don't have jobs, but literally will tell you, let me borrow something. Damn. I always tell you this. Broke people don't think they broke, especially broke women. Broke women don't think they broke. They just think that they haven't found the right man. Damn. And broke men don't think they broke. They just think they haven't found the right job. Damn. And that's the problem. We live in a world where everyone wants to accept poor behavior, right? My guy said a minute ago, people want participation awards for doing what they're supposed to do. I'm supposed to raise my children. I'm supposed to be a father. I'm supposed to be a man. I'm supposed to put my family in a better position. But if we don't say that, right, what we're going to say is this. I'm the exception to the rule. I don't want to be the exception to the rule anymore. It's sad when you go in a room full of women and you tell women you take care of your kids, you know what they say? Well, you're the very few that do. That's crazy to me. You're the very few that do. That bothers me as a man. And if guys on my live right now, if that's not bothering you, then you're not a real man. Look at that statement. I tell a woman, I take care of my kids. And she'll simply say this, well, you just happen to be the very few that do. Come on, guys. We got to get back in our children's lives, guys. We got to fix this world. I think everyone should get a broom, a dustpan, and a mop. And we got to start cleaning up this world. Otherwise, we're going to continue. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Things are not getting better because people don't want to hear the truth. Notice most people want to hear what they want to hear. And this is the issue, right? We got to start getting real with ourselves again. We got to start telling ourselves the truth. I'm no longer sitting with somebody that's lying and going to entertain their madness. They're going to get mad at me. They're going to get mad at me. And why is that? Because I am now no longer going to tell them what they want to hear, even when they want to hear what they want to hear. I don't care. And if I have to lose a person, quote unquote, as a friend because of the fact that I'm being honest, then they was never really a friend. Because a friend would allow me to tell my truth regardless of how they do or don't feel. This is the new world, guys. We don't want to accept that we have issues. And as long as we continue to behave as such, we're going to keep getting the results as such. When you see things are being, you got a whole wound that's infected, but you're going to ignore it and act like it's not going to rot. The world is rotting right before us. It's rotting before us. But we don't want to entertain the fact that we need to fix this culture, man. Listen to my man. If you know you're a good man, right? I need you to raise up and start raising more men. I need you to be better examples for these young men. I need more men that's willing to step up and be great examples. Because I'll sit down with a bunch of men right now that are real men. If you ask them how many major men played focal points in their development, it's a lot. It's a lot. And same with a woman. We don't want to hear this. I know right now, there's somebody sitting there right now knowing they need to get back in their child's life. But guess what? They're going to find somebody that's not taking care of their kid, and they're going to both do the same thing, and he's not going to realize or she's not going to realize that they need to fix their kids. I know people right now who've lost custody of their children and are still out here getting pregnant by other people. Listen to that statement, guys. I know people right now who've lost custody of their kids and they're still out here having babies with other people, right? And this is the problem. We can't fix the world if we keep lying to ourselves. Someone said, where are the women to do with it? I don't understand what you say. They said, where are the women to do it with? There's a lot of women. I'm going to tell you something. When guys tell me that they don't know no good women, I say it's because you're not a good man. I'm being honest with you. I feel like all the losers always want the good women. The losers always crying about the good women. And the sad part is the good men always say to me this, yo, bro, I got to beat these women away because it's too much. How come good men can see all the good women, but all the bad men cry about all the women they keep getting? Because I'm going to say something to you. There is such thing called laws of attraction. People are literally luring exactly what they are. In some cases, you do have some guys that slip out the cracks and go meet these good women and break you. But the problem is a lot of women that get hurt by men, I'm going to tell you why a lot of women get hurt by men. A lot of women want to see good in men that haven't even seen good in themselves. A lot of women wants to see potential of men that they haven't seen the potential in themselves. A lot of women fight for men who aren't willing to fight for themselves. A lot of women want to help a man who don't want to help themselves. A lot of women want to push a man who's not willing to push himself. A lot of women want men who think they can be something, but the man don't believe that he can be, but yet and still you want him to be, ultimately forcing his potential when he's not ready, he doesn't want to, and you have to meet him exactly where he is. That's the real problem. A lot of men, right, are finding women who haven't found themselves, and they're crying about the fact that shorty ain't no good, but shorty ain't never been no good. Therefore, shorty results are a reflection that she ain't no good, but you're going to keep entertaining this girl because of the fact that you want her to change. You sound crazy as hell, and that's the world we live in today. If you tell somebody this, you become the problem. But guess what? I don't give a damn. Damn. And why I don't give a damn is because the world has to be told the truth. I'm not that friend. I'm going to give you a story. Call me a punk for this. I don't care. I can fight. One day I was with my homeboy. I'm close with him. I'm close with his woman. They got into an argument in front of me, right? We're riding in the car. They got into an argument in front of me. So he said, yo, Q, tell her the truth, who was wrong. I said, no, I'm going to stay out of this. He said, no, I want you to get in this. I said, bro, you was wrong as hell. He said, what you say? I said, you was wrong as hell. He said, that's crazy. I said, it's crazy. It's crazy is the fact that you brought me into an argument that I witnessed and you wanted me to lie for you. That's really what's crazy. But I'm not getting to your argument and lying for you. You should never brought me into it. But I'm not going to jump into something and lie. Because the reality is, how can that person fix their problem when they can't see that they're wrong? I'm not getting into no conversations about somebody cheating. But if that woman did no wrong to you and y'all got into an argument and I was there and you asked me to tell who was wrong, and I did exactly what you told me to do, told the person who was wrong. And the reason why I can do that is because of the fact that I'm comfortable knowing that the man that I am. Because I have to look at myself in the mirror. I've noticed that too many people avoid the mirror because they don't like what they see when they look in the mirror. So therefore, they walk around the mirror. But somebody need to stop and look in that mirror and take a real good look at themselves, because some of y'all may be pretty or attractive on the outside, Gucci, Louis, Prada down to the feet, but ugly as hell on the inside. And some of y'all don't see how ugly y'all are. You're ugly. Some of the most attractive people I've ever met is some of the ugliest people I've ever met. When you learn that the things they do, it makes them so unattractive. A guy said to me the other day, yo, shorty's a 10. I want to hook you up with. I said, I would never, looks don't entice me. Because I realized that some of the most attractive people have no heart, no compassion, no remorse, no nothing. Everything is always about them. Ladies, if you put yourself online and all you can do is sell yourself based on your looks and your body parts, then you are something called a social media whore. A whore. And men, when you put yourself online and you're trying to make the world believe that you got a lot of money, we know you work at Amazon, buddy. It's so weird when you know what the person do for a living and they're online fronting like they got all this money. I love reading captions on social media. I'm going to say this. Some of the craziest captions of what you mean. And what I like with the word caption, what's the first word in caption? Cap. Cap. I'm going to tell you, when I read the caption, they be like, yo, it took me years to get to this level. What level? What level? I love when you read a woman, she's like, because when she say, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be. Or she hit me with I had to level him up. How did you level him up when you haven't even leveled you up? You people are watching social media and you guys are living in a real live episode of Love and Hip Hop. Y'all living a real live episode of Love and Hip Hop. Y'all believe that you're supposed to wake up, get a cash app from a man, go to the nail salon, get your hair did and your nails done, and then you can go to a restaurant with you and your bum friends, and we're supposed to sit in a restaurant, and as a man, I'm a real man, if I pay for you and your bum friends, and then on top of it, I'm supposed to fly you out while still paying your rent with the kid that doesn't even belong to me, it's some other dude's kid. I'm supposed to still take care of that little guy too, right, who wants Jordans, and he wants some, he told me the other day he wants some, what, Prada sneakers? That's what you want, Prada sneakers, right? And I'm a real man if I could do all of these things. Man, you have officially signed up for something called a bum. That's a whole bum, bro. That is sad as hell. That a grown woman believes that a man is supposed to do all of that. That is sad as hell. That you believe that's what makes a man a man. Come on. This is inbreeding. This is the product of inbreeding. I told you, your mother and father has to be first cousins. Because that sounds crazy as hell. A lady told me the other day, her man ain't no good. I said, why is that? She said, because of the fact that he don't even take me on trips. I said, I'd ask you a question. She said, what? I said, you gonna get mad at me? She said, no, I won't get mad at you. I said, but you don't even take your goddamn self on trips. Damn. Listen to that statement. She said, he don't take me on trips. I said, damn, you don't even take yourself on no goddamn trip. So how do you don't even set the standards for yourself. What I want for me, I'm gonna set the standard for myself to have it. I'm not gonna expect someone to give me something I should be giving myself. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta give yourself attention before you start asking others for attention. You gotta give yourself love, right? And I say love before you can ask somebody else for love, right? Because one, you gotta learn how to love yourself first before you can even receive love from someone else. You gotta learn how to laugh alone. You know the people I respect the most? Is when you ever seen someone in a restaurant and they sitting there eating by themselves and they sitting there having a good time by themselves? Some people see that as crazy. I see that as a person that loves himself. And they say, regardless of who I am with or without, I am still gonna treat myself to the best of the best. Someone said that's me. Let me give you that. I think it's amazing, right, when people are willing to go travel by themselves. I got a homeboy in the studio right now who went all the way to Japan by himself. By himself to Japan. Yo, you know it takes such confidence for you to be willing to come out of your comfort, your normal standards, and go still enjoy life without no one being a company to you. We act like we were born attached at the hip to people. But in order for you to enjoy life, you gotta start enjoying yourself first. This is the problem. Most people don't even respect themselves, but they respect people to respect them. How can you put someone before you but expect that someone will see you for who you are? How's someone gonna love you when you don't love you? How's someone gonna love you more than you should love you? That is scary when you meet a human that thinks like that. You want the world to love you more than you're willing to love yourself. You want the world to respect you more than you're willing to respect yourself. Some of us accept the worst of the worst, but still want the best of the best. We accept the worst. I told you, you gotta advance your taste buds to what you feel you deserve. You gotta advance your taste buds. Because there's no reason why a person should set the standard of what you should accept. Who sets the standard for what you accept? You cry about the jobs that don't pay you fair, but yet and still you do everything in your power to stay at that job. You take on better cars, deeper into the job. You spend more money on trips, deeper into the job. You cry about finances that you have never established. You cry about your mom not teaching you finances when you still ain't teaching yourself finances. This world is so damn weird. I'm not gonna cry about what I didn't or did do yesterday, but I'm gonna hold myself to a standard of what I can do today. And as long as there's breath in my lungs, I'm gonna change my life by changing and doing what I have to do today. I'm not sitting back waiting for no one to give me something I feel like I deserve. No one's gonna wait for you waiting. Look, that's like, I'm gonna tell you something. Look at this analogy. Stay with me, guys. Look at this. Imagine driving down a block, right? And it's a dead end. And imagine sitting in your car with the car running, and it's a dead end. And you're sitting there waiting for them to build you a goddamn new road for you to go on to the next chapter of your goddamn level of success. Again, I say that again. Imagine driving to the end of the goddamn road, and while you're sitting at the end of that road, there's no road, nowhere to go. It's a dead end. And you're sitting there waiting for them to build you a road, and you're complaining about the fact that there's no road there. What, you gonna continue to wait? Are you gonna throw that damn car in reverse, back that thing up, and get up out of there and go a different route? Sometimes things fall apart so they can fall into place. And some people won't allow life to fall in place because they don't see that things have fallen apart for a reason. Some of them friends that fell out your life for a reason. Some of them people ain't around you no more for a reason. Some of them people don't call you no more because you don't entertain their foolishness. Notice the reason why some people phone ring the most is because of the fact they're the most lioness, hypocritical people on earth. Notice I said that. Some people phone ring a lot because they fake. Fake people always got the most friends. Fake people have the most friends. Fake people get the most respect because they lie to each other. Fake people will literally tell each other everything they want to hear, so therefore people love that person. People won't hang out with you when you're real. People won't like you because you're too honest. But I'm going to tell you something. It is better to be loved by who you are than who you're pretending to be. And today, this world needs to understand that in order to cure the world, we have to heal the world. You cannot heal what you cannot see is wrong. In most cases, most people don't want to identify that the world has an issue. It's sick and is affecting the culture to the point where more children are being procreated to be the same way. You have kids that come out the womb and automatically talking about, I don't want to do nothing with my family. Where they get that from? You have sisters and brothers who work against each other. You have family that don't love each other. But I'm going to tell you something about life. It is so weird when people don't believe that the cheat code to life is teamwork. The most successful person on earth can tell you the value of teamwork. Yet and still, you want to be successful, and you don't even believe in teamwork. Because since the beginning of the time, they said teamwork will always make the dream work. And the world will not get better until we accept that the world is sick, and we don't want to engage in it anymore. I don't want to identify as anything but what I am. I hope you heard that. I don't want to identify as nothing more than what I truly am. I am a God-fearing man who understands that I hold myself to high standards because I know my Creator holds me to high standards. I'm not only God-fearing, but I'm also God-hearing. And I hear what He tells me to do. And I'm going to continue to lead into the path that He wants me to lead. But the problem is, it's hard to lead when you're standing at the back of the line. There's somebody on my live today who need to get in the front of the line because God is calling you to make the steps today. Stop worrying about who ain't gonna support you. Step out and do that business. Stop worrying about how I'm gonna pay my tuition. Go get that loan and get back in school. Stop worrying about all the negatives before you even talk about the positive, because negative will always trump positivity. A lot of us create narratives before the narrative actually happens. This is the world we live in today. But as long as you continue to not see that the world will prevent you from winning, because believe you me, the world is producing more losers than we actually producing winners. We're producing people who are good pretending that they're successful. We're producing people who are good at pretending that they're doing good. We're producing people who pretend that their marriage is better than your relationship. Look, you might be boyfriend and girlfriend, right? She's married. And you're sitting there jealous of her marriage, but you don't even realize that they're faking. They're faking. They're fronting. When someone tells me that them and their mate don't never argue, I say, you and your mate ain't really together. You heard that? When somebody said, me and my girl never argue, I say, you and your girl ain't together. Why is that? Because that's unrealistic. Guys, the world is in a space today that if we don't change it, we're going to keep entertaining it. And by allowing the world to be what it is, we're not seeing that the elephant is in the room. The problem is not the world, the problem is us and how we behave in the world. As long as we keep allowing the world to tell us what we should and shouldn't be and how we should and what is, this is going to continue to be the problem. Because it takes a fool to not follow what successful people are doing. They say success leaves a trail that only fools won't follow. Let me say that again. Success leaves a trail that only fools won't follow. And the sad part is people want to be successful, but they're trying to create their own path. But I'm going to tell you something. Anyone that's been derailed, anyone that's fallen off, anyone that's second-guessing themselves, stop looking to the world for the answer and understand that God is bigger than anybody. And anybody that don't understand that today, let's see how their life is. Because there is no way without your creator. But I'm going to say this before I get out of here today, guys. If you want more, you have to do more. Sometimes, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Speak less. Listen more. Observe more. Read more. Put yourself in positions that could definitely advance your mind. And I promise you, you'll start seeing that life is actually better than what you think it is. But in most cases, most of us are fearful to walk alone. So we walk beside fools who ultimately take us down the wrong direction. If you keep following the world, you're going to realize the world isn't the problem. The actual problem is you. Till next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.